is a bad decision. Question from chat: do you think these guys are coachable? I'm yes. So here's the thing. Here's the thing about this game. It is possible to do very well in Heroes of the Storm while understanding almost none of the strategy, as long as you are very strong mechanically. We've actually seen this time and time again with a number of pro players, who I won't say their names, who just fundamentally don't understand the strategy of the game because they aren't really that interested in it. Arthalon is actually a big one that I will mention because he's basically retired, and everyone knows that about Arthalon. Who don't understand the strategy of the game, but are just good mechanically, right? It is possible to do very well in HOTS, being good mechanically, and bad strategically. The reverse is usually not true, because being good strategically means understanding the game in a deeper way, but it also involves playing as a team, and it's very difficult to demonstrate team play or to know who's responsible for the team play. For instance, MVB Black's absolute dominance in their drafting for many, many months was pretty much the result of one player, right, who just happens to be exceptionally good at drafting, and they let him draft their comps. Everyone has input, but there's one particular player who sort of makes the final decisions. And for a while, they actually weren't letting him draft, and then they started letting him draft, and they started winning consistently. They were winning before, but not as not a 42-game win streak. And so there's aspects of the game that different people are better at than others. If you take 4 strong mechanical players and 1 strong shot caller who understands the strategy of the game, you're actually going to have a really good team. If you have 5 strong strategic understanding people who are all average mechanically, you're not going to have a very good team. Mechanics do matter in HOTS, but only if they're directed at the right place. In the context of like Hero League, there's a lot of people on GM who have no understanding of the strategy of the game, but are just strong mechanically, and all they focus on is punishing the enemy team's mistakes. They don't focus on making good decisions themselves. They only focus on punishing the enemy team's mistakes, which is kind of awkward. But it wins games. If you watch Nostromia's rise from Bronze to Grandmaster, pretty much all of her games are not her making great decisions. It's soaking all the time on Falstead and punishing bad decisions by the enemy team. That's literally all she did. And as a result, not only did she force the enemy team to miss soak because they were dead, she got a lot of soak and she just won. One of the reasons that's literally all she did to rank up as playing primarily Falstead, which is kind of ridiculous. It's kind of ridiculous that that's literally all she had to do. But that's the way Hero League is. Hero League does not really encourage strong team play because seconds matter. And without voice comms, you can't have the level of coordination that's really, really necessary. Even with voice comms, if people aren't listening, as everyone who's watched educational scrims knows, even with voice comms, if people actually aren't listening to the calls, it doesn't work out. So going for boss here, defending against boss,